When I first started trading, fear was the only constant. It didn't matter what pair I was watching or how confident I felt the night before. The moment I opened a trade, everything changed. My heartbeat would quicken, my palms would sweat, and every candle tick felt like a threat. I wasn't trading the market. I was trading my own fear. Fear controlled everything. When I entered, when I exited, and even when I stayed out. Sometimes I'd hesitate so long that the move was gone. Other times, I'd jump into fast, desperate not to miss out. Every decision was emotional. Every outcome was a reflection of insecurity. But here's the truth. Fear in trading isn't random. It's learned. It's built through experience, through loss, through the painful realization that your money, your pride, and your identity are all sitting on the same chart. That's what makes trading such a mental game. The fear of losing is the first and most powerful one. When I lost my first few trades, I didn't just lose money, I lost confidence. I started associating red numbers with failure. Each loss felt personal, like a hit to my self-worth, so I began playing defense. Smaller trades, tighter stops, quick exits. I thought I was protecting myself, but in reality, I was trading from fear, not logic. Then there was the fear of missing out, the invisible enemy that whispers, "You're falling behind." I remember watching markets move without me, seeing candles shoot up in the direction I had planned but never acted on. That single feeling of being left out is enough to push a trader into reckless entries. You convince yourself you'll catch the next one, but you end up chasing shadows. And finally, the fear of being wrong. That one took the longest to understand. It's not about the trade itself. It's about ego. It's about needing to prove to yourself that your analysis was right, that you're smart, that you belong here. I used to stare at losing trades, refusing to close them because doing so felt like admitting defeat. I let my pride burn through my capital. What I didn't realize was that fear was shaping my identity as a trader. Every time I let emotion decide for me, I was building the habit of fear. And habits are powerful. They define your reactions even when you know better. The turning point came slowly, over months of frustration and self-reflection. I started noticing that my best trades happened when I felt nothing. No excitement, no panic, no rush, just calm execution. That's when I understood that real confidence doesn't come from winning trades. It comes from trusting yourself to follow your process, win or lose. Professional traders, the six-figure kind, don't operate without fear because they're fearless. They operate without fear because they've learned to respect it without obeying it. They've accepted that fear will always exist, but it doesn't have to control them. Fear becomes data, something to observe, not something to react to. When a trade goes against them, they don't panic. They assess. They've already accounted for the loss before entering the trade. Their risk is defined. Their plan is set. That's why they don T-freeze. They already know what they're going to do. That's when I realized fear only has power over the unknown. Once you define your risk, once you know exactly how much you can lose and still be fine, the fear loses its grip. That's why professionals are so calm. They operate inside the boundaries of preparation. For me, learning to control fear meant building new habits. I started journaling my emotions as much as my trades. I'd write down what I felt before, during, and after every entry. Over time, patterns started to appear. I saw that fear didn't come from the market. It came from me, from my impatience, from my ego, from my lack of clarity. The more I understood my patterns, the less fear had room to hide. Awareness became my weapon. I stopped trying to eliminate fear. I started managing it. When I felt hesitation, I knew it was a sign to review my setup, not a reason to run. When I felt FOMO, I reminded myself that missing one trade doesn't matter. Losing focus does. There's something powerful that happens when you stop fighting your emotions and start understanding them. You begin to trade from a place of control, not reaction. The market becomes less of a threat and more of a mirror. Every move reflects your discipline, your mindset, your level of trust in yourself. The traders who make six figures aren't immune to fear. They've just built systems that protect them from it. They rely on routine, not emotion. They don't let impulse make decisions. Their plan does. They've built enough data, enough experience, and enough discipline to know that the market will always be unpredictable, but their response doesn't have to be. Now, when I trade, I still feel fear. The difference is, it doesn't guide me anymore. It sits beside me, quiet, acknowledged, but powerless. I know my limits. I know my edge. I know that every trade, win or lose, is just one step in the long game. That's what separates an emotional trader from a professional. The emotional trader reacts, the professional responds. One trades from fear, the other from clarity. One sees loss as pain, the other sees it as progress. Trading without fear isn't about eliminating emotion. It's about building such a strong foundation through preparation, risk management, and self-awareness that emotion has nowhere to attach itself. You stop being scared of losing because you've accepted that loss is part of winning. So if you're struggling with fear in your trading, stop trying to be fearless. Start trying to be prepared. Build systems that support you. Define your risks so fear has boundaries. Journal your emotions so you understand them. Trade smaller until your confidence grows naturally. Because the goal isn't to feel brave, it's to feel balanced. Fear is part of trading, but when you master your response to it, you master yourself. And that's when you start trading like a six-figure professional, calm, consistent, and completely in control.